It's a little early for us to talk
Yeah.
about being a public company. I mean, you mentioned Airbnb and Uber. I think these companies, amazing companies,
Yeah.
are quite a bit in front of us.
Billions
terms
in
of
revenue.
they've been there and gotten there further along. So we have some ways to go. But I think like any business, it comes down to, is this business applicable to more than just the 10 or so markets that we're in today? And can it be successful everywhere? I think we have a little bit more to prove out on that before we can even discuss, public market and
So you got to figure out what? The suburbs? You got to figure out?
No, I think it's just we have more markets that we want to attack. There are plenty of markets in this country alone, let alone an international market. And people eat everywhere.
Right.
To prove out and feel great about the model.
How are the food delivery services, I'm sure you're monitoring it, doing in other countries? Because there was a massive amount of investment in those. But in some other countries, specifically Korea, I know the jjajangmyeon and those little, not bentos, but they're metal cylinders that are stacked. I know those are delivered in Korea. I saw those all the time.
Or India.
Or India, they have the ones that are delivered the same way, actually, stackable, round ones. You have a long-standing tradition of fresh food being delivered.
Yep.
How are the services doing in those other countries? Do you think those other countries, if you were going to look at regions, Europe, Asia, India, South America?
We haven't done yet, so of course, whatever I say here is just early thoughts.
Early thoughts, for sure.
But I think the one big difference is the labor market is very different. Right. So the delivery labor market expenses and whatnot for those countries would require us to model pricing potentially very differently. Oftentimes, it's less expensive.
Right,
labor-wise.
in Asia or India.
That's right. To
have a large population.
So that's one thought.
In Europe, it would just break.
That's right. And otherwise, in terms of great food, different cuisine, we're already model for that. We already are building a system where the food can be done locally to that market. Because let's say, come on, Japanese not going to enjoy eating non-Japanese food for very long. So you got to make sure you
got to be able to
cater to that local market.
You got to figure out tempura, which
so we do a lot of different cuisine here in the U.S. See, the wonderful thing about the U.S. is there's a lot of different ethnicity.
Right.
You can get Japanese food. You saw sushi in the menu earlier. You see new American food. You see Indian food. You see Italian food. You see
the same order.
On the same menu.
Right.
So you can order one thing and your spouse can order a totally different ethnic meal and both enjoy the same night.
It's a nice full circle way to go, considering we started this conversation of you coming here.
Yeah.
When your parents come visit the office, your parents still alive?
Yep.
They're in their 70s now, 60s?
Right about 70.
Right about 70, mine too. When they come and they see the operation that you've built, what do they think of the son who they put on that boat when he was 11, going to MIT, working for SGI, and then now starting his own company and raising over $100 million? What do they think of what you've done, what you've accomplished?
Well, they always ask me, how's it going? You know, hey, how's this new market that I told them about the 2 weeks prior, how's that going? But for them, they're not business folks. So their mental image on company is very foreign to them.
Right.
And so all they do is they just be amazed at the scale that we do things at.
Yeah.
But that's all they feel.
But they're still writing you about the details, huh?
Yeah, so they're like, hey, how's the DC market going? I have a friend in DC. Can I tell so-and-so, who live in DC about it? I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can refer them too and get credit. so I would educate them on some of the functionality we have. But yeah, they're absolutely very proud.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you about Braintree. Yes, Payments 101. You have a brilliant idea, but you need to turn it into a great product that people can't wait to buy. But now is the time to think about how you'll accept payments. You'll first need a payment gateway that collects your customers' payment data, and you have to make sure their funds are approved. Then you need to send those funds to a merchant account. And the merchant account is a temp holding tank for your money collected from online sales. Once it passes through your merchant account, it ends up in your bank account. Yes, there's multiple steps. It's not simple, but it becomes very simple when you use Braintree. Yes, Braintree is a payments platform that comes with a payment gateway and a merchant account. They make it super simple. All you have to do is add a couple of lines of code to your app, to your website, and it all works. You can make it work so simply by visiting braintreepayments.com/twist, braintreepayments.com/twist. It is the easiest way to add payments to any product or service. Many of the companies I've invested in use it, and every time a new product or service comes out, like Apple Pay or Bitcoin, whatever it is, the next payment service that we don't even know about or haven't considered, they will incorporate it, and they do it usually before that service even launches or while it's launching. So you just wind up getting this incredible wind in your sails, basically, by using Braintree. I see it happen on all my startups. They save weeks, if not months, of coding and pain and suffering by just using Braintree for their payments. Go ahead and visit braintreepayments.com/twist. And a personal thank you from me to Braintree for making such a great product that all my startups I invest in use. Just a great product. Okay, and it's simple. All right, let's get back to this amazing episode.